Hey. What's going on live? What's going on YouTube? What's going on stream? We are here with another exciting night of the Doctor of Love. And I'm not alone. Who I have? My beautiful co-host, Linda Streeter. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Linda.
Hi there, everyone. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. You had a marvelous week all week. I'm Linda Streeter, and of course, my handle is Love and Relationship Matters with Linda. That is because I am a life coach, relationship coach, and behavior coach. And I'm an author, and I do lots of counseling. Marriage and family relationships is who I am.
Yeah, that is so sweet. I see a couple of people on here already. I want you guys to go ahead and get your questions in. Tonight, we're going to have a Hall of Famer. True. Damon Allen. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna wait for him to come in, and then we're gonna get some questions answered. So I want to hopefully let me tell you guys about me. I had a little not accident, but I got a little sick for the last 3 weeks, and I had to go to the hospital. I'm out and okay right now. You know, I'm energized. I'm good, and I'm always gonna be good. Always gonna be good. So thank you for sending me the shout outs and calling me, but I'm still here with you. I'm still here with you. I didn't have a heart attack. I didn't have COVID, but I'm good. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? Wonderful. Hey, get me some questions in. She says, "Good evening, Doctor Love. How you feeling?" I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We just waiting for Damon to click on in so we can get this event started. We have viewers
Yes.
already. We have enough viewers. We have a lot of viewers. So come on,
Yeah.
Damon. Where
So
you at?
So what's been going on? Any new topics, anything that crossed your mind this week that would make for like one of those interesting discussions to bring up?
Yeah, man. I run across that. The only thing I've been thinking about is getting healthy, being in that hospital, laying in that bed, looking at them walls, man. But man. But what I want to say, I want to ask everybody, my viewers, and we want to ask in the middle of the show, to what topic would you guys like to talk about? Won't you put that in the category, and we're gonna start bringing up topics every show. We're gonna have a topic, and I guess Linda, she's my boss. She tells me that it'll go easier if we have a topic. So, what topics would you guys like for us to talk about each week? So, throw them up here, and then we'll discuss them on another date. So, this is
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do. Let me see where Damon is because I don't want to start answering questions without him on here. Mike Allen just been calling me, and they said they were on they were ready. They were ready. Let me see. I got a plate of food in front of me, girl. I'm in the middle of a party right now. My daughter's 24th birthday and my son's 24th birthday. They're twins, and I got a bocce truck out in front. They just brought me a plate, and I'm like ready. Mike Allen,
What's up?
where Damon?
He wait. He all set up. He wait.
Oh, he ain't wait. He's not in there. I don't see him in the backstage.
Well, I don't see you on the Facebook.
I'm on here.
I'm on StreamYard.com. He's on StreamYard.com.
No,
Oh,
he has to go to the link.
you have to go to the link. Go to the link that I sent you.
I pressed on the link. Okay, let me try it. Let's try it again. Why are you on?
Yeah, we're on. We're talking. We're waiting for you.
Oh, Jesus. It was in there waiting for you guys.
Oh no, we're in. You gotta click on the link that I sent you.
I think you got it. Okay. All right, check.
All right. Hey, he's coming on in a minute. So yeah, let me send y'all another. Let me show y'all what I'm eating, man. I haven't even started eating. I just want Damon to start talking and answering questions so I can. Here he come right now. So I can look at. That's my food, baby. That's my food. I got Damon in the house. Let me click him in. Here he is. Here he is.
You guys see me?
I can see you and we can hear you on live now. So don't talk about me too bad in front of everybody. Hey, everyone. We have the Hall of Famer, the great I would just let me say a few things. I just gotta say a few things about you, bruh. I remember back in the days, not even about maybe 10 years ago. Every time, I would try to keep up with you. Every time I Googled the greatest quarterback of all time, you know who would come up first? You. You would come up first, and then there was another guy from Canada would come up second, and then it would start with the NFL quarterbacks. And I wanted to screenshot, and I found it again. I want to screenshot it, but I just want everybody to know how great you are. So we have Damon Allen in the house. Damon, go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing now and where you're from before we get into these love and relationship questions.
Well, first of all, I'm thankful to spend all those many years in Canada, and it's been a unique experience. I've enjoyed it. It's like my second home. This past year, I came back to California because I applied for the internship for the Las Vegas Raiders, and so I went through the internship, before the first season started, and so I finished that internship. It was a great experience.
He got bad signal, but yeah, he'll come back on in a second. But yeah, he's intern for the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, he may be the quarterback coach of the Raiders. Somebody's popping in. Oh, he's popping in again. Here we go.
What happened?
You got bad signal. You got a bad signal. It's going in and out.
I have a bad signal.
No, because it's free. You're freezing too. We can hear your voice, but your face is freezing sometimes. Go ahead. You were talking about you did an intern with the
I had an
Las
amazing
Vegas.
experience with the Raiders, and I'm back at home now. I'm looking forward to new opportunities and being very creative, while I'm here. But I'm excited to be on your show. I've seen your show a few times. It seems like you guys have a lot of fun on the show. So I'm looking forward to see the surprises or what would take place tonight.
I know, for real, right? And guess who just left, man? Guess who just left? He was just here. Actually, he's probably still downstairs getting some food before he leaves. Lou Barnes is here. I told him you was on the show tonight. I might have Lou on next week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he just said. But this is what I want to ask you, and you better say the right thing. Michael, where's Michael at? I need to see Michael's face. I know he's right there next to you somewhere. Is he there? Is Michael there? No. Okay, Mike. Damon. I want to ask you this question. Dang, he's going in and out. See, he has a bad signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he can hear me when he goes out like this. There he goes. He's clicking back in now. That's your signal. That's not ours. That's yours.
I don't know.
No. So okay, before we go any further, Damon was my quarterback in high school. I was a junior. He was a senior, and he threw me 2 touchdown passes in the CIF game, and he is the only one to have film of that game, and he refuses to send me that. So I need to see the film, and I need an autographed jersey, buddy. And then another thing is, who is the best receiver you ever quarterback passed to? You better say me. You just better say me.
What? In high school?
Oh, that's wrong. Ever.
Well, in high school, I've only played with you in high school. And so,
no, come on, man. I'm talking about the best.
We had a great receiving core, but you were the best tight end I played with.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, this is what we're going to do.
Even though you wasn't a tight end when you got to college, but you was a tight end in high school.
I know that. And most people don't understand. They don't know that, and they still ain't gonna understand it. So, all right, let's get into some questions. First of all, I see Mary. Hey, Mary Bridges is on the call, baby. Toy Moore is on it. Yeah, you remember Mary?
Yeah, of course. I remember.
Okay.
I remember everybody.
Okay. Here we go. Let's get into question. What we got, Linda?
This the same. What you sent me are the ones I've read off earlier from last week.
Go ahead, give me one. Give me one of those.
Okay.
What was the question?
Okay,
No.
if a man marries a woman or makes her his girlfriend and her looks begin to drastically deteriorate, should the woman expect to have problems in the relationships or in the relationship. Men are visual creatures, right? So that was from Dr. Lisa from last week.
That's say that slower
Can you,
again.
can you repeat the
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure.
Because it was kind of choppy.
Yeah.
Okay. If a man marries a woman or makes her his lady, his girlfriend, and her looks begin to drastically deteriorate, should the woman expect to have problems in the relationship? Because men are visual creatures.
What she's saying is
No, I don't think that they should have. I mean, to me and my beliefs, if you love someone, you're loyal to that person, you spent years with that person, it's a natural progression to get older. So I think as you get older, it is not about the looks. It's about the relationship and what you built and the communication that you have and the joy.
see, he's going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go. We got to keep it moving. So he's going to click back on in a second. So like I answered that last week, it's about just growing together and loving each other. That's what it's about, because no matter what, men going to get bigger and women are going to get bigger, and we're all going to change. So we need to love each other just for that, not just physical. Go ahead. You back on, Damon. So were you finished with that question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's no longer about looks. It's about what you've built, the communication, joy you have with one another. And I mean, when you're up in age, you're not worried about what the person looks like. I mean, it's all about, chemistry that you have with that person during that time. And it's the loyalty you have with that person. That's what it's about.
Yeah, within a certain time, you're working on building together, and you guys should be, after a few years, you should be on the same page, So let's go to the next question.
So maybe question. So maybe just say if you had 20 or 30-year-old watching this show, would that be the advice to them?
Well,
my advice to anyone is to find the person that you can build a relationship with, great communication, and grow with, and trying to figure out what you two or the partner you picked, what you can do in the future, and what kind of legacy you want to leave for if you want to have children. And so I think that really comes down to the truth of a relationship. It's about building each other's path, journey, or their job, and what they want to accomplish. Is about the two people coming together and saying, I'm going to be a cheerleader for you, and you're going to be a cheerleader for me, and see what we build. At the end of the day, the reality, once I said, regardless if you're 20, 10, 30, 50, you're going to get older in life. And so you're not going to look the same. You hope that you can maintain and, hope you can, last the black don't crack, mindset. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you've built together. And then it becomes to, like I said, love is a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I rather have loyalty.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I always say, find a person you can't live without.
Yeah.
That never wears out. So what do you have, Linda?
Okay. Yeah, I look, I agree with that. I think that oftentimes we tend to look at the exterior when you're choosing a mate. And I think from a younger perspective, before you become wise, we're fooled by what we see. Woman is fooled by how fine the guy looks, and vice versa with the guys. I think it kind of works both ways. And then later, as you begin to mature in life, you start to age, then of course you realize your values start to change. because you start to change and you start to realize to recognize that what's important is the substance within a person, because that is what lasts over a long period of time. And when we do start to, you get to that place where no, I don't need to, dress up every day for someone. And yes, you're going to get some rings or, bulges in places that you never thought you would get. And then, needless to say, we start to have other health concerns. And, it's just good to have someone who's going to be by your side regardless.
Right.
That.
I think for real, what do you guys think about when you get married? You should sit down, or before you get married, you should sit down and come up with a plan on what direction you want to go. What kind of business do you want to have? This is the beginning, and what do you want to see at the end? Like,
absolutely.
You get together, say, hey, I'm in the building homes, flipping homes, or getting Airbnb. Are you interested in that, baby? Is that what you want to do? We got to find out what she wants, and she has to find out what we want, so we can build together. It's like a business, because it is a union. It's a one union. So let's go on. Toy has a question. She says, hi, Damon. She said, being a professional athlete, what's the craziest thing that happened to you from a woman, and how did you handle it?
What'd she say? What's the craziest thing?
She said, what's the craziest thing that happened to you from a woman, and how did you handle it? What's the craziest thing a woman has done to you being a professional athlete? I told the story because last week you didn't agree with me. I said, when I used to come from home to the hotel, there were women in my room, and we had security. You didn't agree with that. So what's the craziest thing that happened to you? Women, man, they aggressive, man. Some of them are real aggressive. So what's the craziest thing that happened?
I don't think there is ever in that situation. I'm just referring to, when you're on the road and you're playing, and you see a lot of different things, but I think it's all within the individual, how he handles himself, how he looks at himself, and those things. And so, usually on the road, when we're going on the road, I mean, it's like a business trip. And that's how I've always approached, whenever we got on the road, is I'm here to play a game and win, pretty focused on that. But you see crazy things. I mean, I'm not going to die playing 23 seasons. Not only you've seen crazy things, but, you got, young players come in and they, tell stories of what their nights was, that they're single, and those things. But I think for the individual, it's up to the individual and his lifestyle and how he wants to do. Like I said, for me, I always try to handle myself in a professional manner, on and off the field.
But the thing is,
so are you saying, Damon, you never had crazy thing? You did experience the craziest thing or crazy things while playing sports, even though you didn't play to it, or maybe you handled yourself in a particular way. Did you not have that experience where with the crazies from women?
But what is crazy to you?
The question was, what's crazy
to you? What is crazy to you?
To me too. Because crazy to me is
what's crazy to you? Because
man, women showing up in your room
may not be crazy to someone else.
Exactly. See, I mean, it can go from up top to up bottom. But how many crazy fans that you had just trying to get at you? Just trying to get break across your security to get to you to sign the autograph. He clicked off again. So, where were we? His signal went out again. He'll be right back on. Hey, so you guys get your questions in. Get some more questions in. He's clicking back in right now.
So I don't think he wants to give answer to that question. Personal experience.
Here we go.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you from Damon, from me knowing.
No,
Damon.
like I said, I mean, like crazy stuff I've never had, like panties thrown at me, those kind of things. Because I'm not sure if that's the right setting, or they operate like that in football. He's trying
to be politically correct right now.
That
dude got somebody watching.
I mean, you think
but
about it.
Stuff that you can't handle. You don't? That's
I
like
don't
we don't.
smoke, barely drink. So there's not a lot of crazy things that happen to me in the setting of my sport for me.
Okay. So no crazies for Damon.
All
No.
right, but let me tell you something. Me knowing Damon, he's just like me. Don't smoke, don't drink, and all that. But he is from a. It's hard to answer that question for him because he's the quarterback, and a quarterback is
Yes.
the leader of your team. You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks can't do the wild things other people can do because he's the leader. So his focus is on carrying his team. So he can't even focus on that. Plus, he probably has more security around. So, that's a hard question to answer for him because he doesn't, they can't get into that kind of stuff. Now, receivers and DBs, that's a different thing. So, but let's go on. Let's move on.
Okay, so another question from last
But
week
no, I
was,
mean, I think in a sense that is true too. I mean, those are the things, you think about too. I mean, as being a leader on the team, you're the focus. Not only, you're being watched at every aspect, every city you go to, and those things. And it's a very difficult sometimes transition.
That dude is clicking out. We gotta get some signal from you, Dave. You still there? Here, you coming back on? Okay, you back?
I'm trying to get it right. It's on my data, so I'm surprised it's not like just constantly on a consistent basis. But it's the leadership component. Getting back to the question, the leadership side of it, being one of the leaders on the team. I mean, those are things that I took very seriously, and so, I mean, in a sense, yeah, you do have to operate that way because you're like a coach in a sense, or the secondary coach of your head coach and your offensive coordinator, and then it's the leaders on the team. And so, I took those things very seriously, and so I try to operate in a way that brings a level of respect to who I am, what I represent in my last name, and the fact that I was married too. I mean, I try to operate in a professional manner. Like, I'm there to do my job.
So I got a question from that. You saying that, I really didn't know if I could bring it up, but what is your last name? And what does your last name represent? What does your last name represent? Isn't it?
Say that again.
What does your last name represent? Because you said you want to represent and respect your family's name. Can you? He's clicking off again. God damn it. He's gonna click back on. They getting loud down. Can you hear my background?
mm-hmm.
They getting loud. I'm doing the party for my. Okay. Let me finish the question. Your last name, what does it represent? You said you don't want to disrespect your family's last name. Who else happens to be in your family? Can you start it from the top? I think it's Harold, and then you just go down.
Yeah.
Name, because I want to give everybody a shout out because I know Darius, the youngest, he's a book writer.
And, my oldest brother Harold, he went to Lincoln High School. My brother Marcus, he also went to Lincoln. I mean, everybody in our family went to Lincoln High School.
Who was that second name?
Marcus.
Marcus. What's his last name?
Then there's Michael and Michelle and Darius. I mean, we all went to Lincoln, and we understand the history of Lincoln as well. And so, with that, we have a great amount of respect for our parents. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the last name that was given to us. And so we try to put that level of respect and honor because even the Bible says, honor thy mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That your days will be long upon the land, which is the first promise from the Lord.
Preach, preacher.
Yeah.
Preach, preacher.
The first promise.
And Damon, they said, I think Michelle is the best athlete in your family anyway, right?
I would agree with that.
She's doing training tapes, basketball. Is she coaching at Lincoln?
Michelle does everything.
Yeah, she does it all. That's my girl. I love you, mama. I love you. Yeah. And Michael always trying to get me out on the golf course, talking crap to me about golfing, and he know I can't play, but he want to bet me anyway. They hustlers. They be hustling people. But we gonna have to get out there. I saw you with Andre Reed last week or something like that.
Oh yeah, we beat him.
You beat him?
It was on the last hole. It was on the last hole, so it was really
wow.
good.
Who was on teams? Are you guys playing individuals or are you guys playing teams?
It was me and Batman, which is Michael.
Right.
Playing against Todd White, my college wide receiver at Fullerton, and Andre Reed. So
okay.
It was a good challenge.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Y'all scared to get me out there, huh? You heard about me golfing, right?
Yes, we heard about you.
Hey, he clicked off. Why is he clicking off? Oh, come on. Hey, y'all get some more questions in right now for him because he's about to come back on. He's going off and on. But I'm just going off the questions right here off the board. Man, that's your internet. You know our internet is good. That's your internet. The thing is, if you pay half your bill, you only get half the surface, damn it, Damon. You know that, right?
Well, I try to use my data. So that's when I'm on my data and not Wi-Fi usually is the one in and out, but I'm on my data. So I don't know why it's, cutting out, but
well,
if
data
we're just patient, we'll get through it.
Right.
We're patient.
Yeah.
We'll get through it.
We will. We'll get it. Well, I want right now, Linda, I want you to put your Cash App up on the thing and y'all giving the donations because I got to help pay Linda because Linda, this is what she do for a living. This is what she does for a living. So all my friends out there, you know what I'm saying? Help me out. Help me get some stuff over to Linda. Linda, punch it up there. And then we're going to go on to the next great question. Let me see.
Okay, so your next question is, hey, fellas, from last week, Dr. Tate again. Is it possible for a man to be in a relationship and not eventually get bored? If yes, what needs to happen to keep his interest peaked?
He clicked off again. See, the thing is, I got to tell him he can't use his phone data. I don't care how.
No.
Hey, I'm telling you, the house data is going to be better than the phone data because I used to do that. I could never do it on my phone because it would do this. It would click off. So I use my home data now. But go ahead and ask that question for him before he
Okay, so the question was, hey, fellas, is it possible for a man to be in a relationship and not eventually get bored? If yes, what needs to happen to keep his interest peaked? And that was from Dr. Tate last week.
I think he's delayed too, though.
No, there's certain parts that I think are very crucial to understanding what you're saying. So say it again.
Is it possible for a man to be in a relationship and not get bored? If it is possible, what needs to happen to keep his interest peaked?
Of course, it's possible for a man to be in a relationship and not get bored. I think, some of the things that people do early in their relationship, like have date nights and those things, you have to be able to keep them up. I mean, it's a level of commitment to spend time with one another. And sometimes it's difficult when you have children or when they decide to have children and then the busyness of it all. But I think that's a level of commitment that the two must nourish each other's relationship. So there's a level of commitment that has to take place in the relationship, especially if they have children, to still spend the time that's needed for their relationship to stay strong. And you always want it on the edge. You want it interesting. So the man or the woman have to be very creative in making sure that their relationship continues to grow and stay strong. So, and that's even with children. I think I find a lot of times when you have children, it's the busyness of the children and the direction of caring and ideals change because now there's kids involved. But the number one priority before you guys got together is to build that relationship. So that's just as important as raising children.
Hey, Damon, how hard it was? How? Go ahead.
So I think, Damon, what I think I heard you saying was that, yes, it is possible for, a person or a man in particularly, since that was the question, to get bored in the relationship. But to prevent that from happening, I heard you talk about the level of commitment that two people must be involved in. They have to, and also that they must remember why they started the relationship, because it started with just the two of them. And then I heard you say that it's about building the relationship, and they must do things to keep the relationship going, moving forward, or to keep the relationship interesting and spicy. Is that what I kind of heard you say in a nutshell?
Well, that's basically what I was saying too, because
Okay.
many of the times when they're saying the relationship has changed is due to the fact of the kids. And so the priorities change as well. But even with the priorities changing, there's still the fundamental aspect of the two people that came together prior to, and realizing how much time they spent with one another before the kids have come, that somehow they have to be able to still keep that mandate in their relationship, to keep it alive, not boring, and do things. And so it's not just the man. I think it's both parties have to figure out how to keep it spicy as people want in their relationship.
Exactly. Hey, being a professional athlete, Damon, how hard was it to juggle being a professional football player and kids and your wife?
Well, I think, what happens is once you, and I, experience of the fact that when you have kids, you're being stretched now. I mean, before I had kids, I was pretty focused on my career and my relationship. When the kids came, you have to extend yourself as a father. No longer you're just the professional athlete or just a husband. Now you're a father, and then you still have to stretch yourself and realize that you're a brother, a sibling. And so there's many different hats that we have to take heed to as a man, and not just, hey, I'm the breadwinner, and I've done my job. But I mean, there's a huge aspects, I think, that men are not necessarily prepared for, because I don't think one of us was. I don't remember having conversations with my dad about marriage and those things, and so there's a lot of things that
you have to learn
that we don't share or we don't give to our children, to prepare them for the very thing that and how difficult it is being married, and to understanding your role as a father. It's just not breadwinning.
Yeah. Do you think
bringing in the bread? It's you got a litany of things that you have to learn and take heed to, and it's it's something that within the man that he has to want to do as well.
Right. He has to love. You have to love his family. Hey, but the thing is, I forgot what I was about to say. Go ahead. You frozen again.
So maybe you can shed some light on it, Stephen, about what needs to happen, Stephen.
I didn't hear what was it?
I said maybe you can shed some light on what needs to happen to prevent boredom in the relationship.
Oh, hey, don't let it get bored. Date, just like like I always say. Yeah, how you met that woman or you met that man, that's how you continue. You got to continue dating. You got to continue courting. You can't let it die out. You got to continue going to the movie. Is that how you got her, or that's how you got him? You got to continuously continue doing the same thing over and over, and don't let it die out. You got to travel, see places, go different places, hold hands. You know what I'm saying? Because the woman that you fell in love with is usually the same woman at the end. It's usually you want to grow together, not apart. So
I thought about that song. The same thing it took to get my love is going to take the same thing to keep it. Remember, wait, old school.
Let me hear you sing it.
No, I'll let you do that.
I don't even know if I can sing anymore. Hey, Toy has another question. She says, what are your thoughts about a woman? What is your thoughts about women saying men are no good or there are no good men out there? Because I hear that a lot too.
What are my thoughts on women saying there's no good man out there?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yes.
I mean, there's 7.5 billion people on the earth.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
8 billion.
to me, there has to be more good men than bad. So
yeah, exactly.
there's a lot of good men out there. And so, I mean, I don't ever believe in that notion. I think a lot of times it's just a matter of the right person meet the right person. And there's, great energy and great communication. I mean, there's fundamental aspects of what has to take place for a good relationship. And sometimes the Bible actually, gives you the blueprint and the order and how it should go. Because I always believe that, there's always that big word that people use, submission, and no one wants to. No way I'm going to submit to him. But I think most women know that if their husband is submitting to Christ's lead or following Christ in that way, it's easy for her to submit. But it's difficult for a woman to submit to a man when she knows he's not doing anything that is help building the family and the relationship. So, that's the difficulty, especially the reason why I say this, because every person who is melanin skin always say that they believe in God and have been brought up in the church. And so the fact that that scripture has always been, a part of, and Christ gives you the blueprint and how the order of the family should be. It starts with God.
Okay, so just to talk while I certainly share the sentiments with Matt. I'm talking about Matt, I mean with Damon on that one.
Yes.
That's what I said with Damon on that one, because I think that we've forgotten so many values, and what I find is that when a man says that all women are no good, or women say all men are no good, it's a very subjective perspective of life.
Yes.
It categorizes the person as someone who is still wrestling with their own healing,
Right.
and their own wholeness. And they're seeing, it's very generalized to see all men as being no good because of several their experiences you've had. And when you have almost 8 billion people on the face of the earth, I think it's really, sad of any individual to limit or to categorize every man or every woman the same, or cast them as the same based on your limited experience. I always say there are 8 billion people on the face of the earth. And if one or two has mistreated you, or even 3 or 4, at some point you have to look at, I'm the common denominator here. And maybe it's your selection that's creating that. So when you find yourself in a pattern of broken relationship, the same type of relationship, rather than to categorize all men as being wicked or whatever, or
Yes.
dog, maybe you need to consider, what is it I'm doing? What's in me that I'm attracting these type of men? And why is it I'm saying yes to these type of men?
Yeah.
Because there are good men out there and good women out there.
Yes.
It's
You're
just
walking right by
finding the right one for you. Something that Damon said.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good basic way of looking at those things. But you also have to look at, the educational side of, the two things they don't really teach in school and education and teaching our kids. One is how money operates and how money works, because many families are broken up because of debt and money issues. And then they don't really teach on the opposite relationships between men and women. And those are two important criteria that should be taught from the young age, relationships and how money works. And those are the two components that are part of the the divorce rate and why people get divorced.
Yeah.
So,
But that's
so
true.
we have
But
to change the curriculum as well, because now we're dealing with, people are getting into situations where they don't really know, and they weren't really taught, and they have to figure it out on their own. And if you're watching television, the television is not teaching you as well. I mean, they give you a whole false narrative on what a marriage or a relationship looks like, and we're basically just mimicking what the world does. And so at the end of the day, it's not working.
Yeah.
but
It looked like
we have to keep in mind that teachers study academia, and it's not the school's role. I don't think personally for the school to have to teach my children about. I mean, is it good to teach finances in a classroom? I think so, but I don't think the school is equipped or teachers are equipped, because we already know every profession comes with its on every individual come with their own trauma as well. So when we say the school, I don't think it's the school's responsibility to teach about relationships. I think that, we have lost so much when it comes to the foundations and substance of our families. And we're dependent or thinking someone else should be teaching life skills when the parents, life skills should be a part of your whole household. Finances should be a part of your household. So instead of teaching the children through the school, I think that parents, if you know there were certain, experiences you didn't get as a child, areas of your life that you're weak in, why don't we as parents spend money to educate ourselves and get ourselves where we need to be so we can teach our children? And I think that's the piece that's missing. Me as a therapist, when someone is asking me to see their children and expecting me to fix their children, my motto is, if you fix the parents, you will automatically fix the children. And when it comes to life skills, which a lot of people are so lacking in, when it comes, like financing, parenting, communication, these are interpersonal relationships that we as adults should be teaching in our household, and pay for a seminar. And it's something else. With a lot of us with melanin in our skin, we just kind of, parent from the hip, or the way finances were taught in our household. We don't take the responsibility to grow and maturate at a rate that says that, we're leaving a legacy behind for our children. That's not things. My thing also is, legacy is not what you leave with your children, but it's what you leave in your children. So no amount of finances in school or communication in school, we can teach English proper grammar, but none of that works well if you go back home to an environment where it doesn't exist at. So I think as parents, husbands and wives, we must do better, because no one else is going to do that for us nor our children.
Right.
Damon,
Damon,
I don't think I was putting the blame on the school, but I mean, they could have easily changed the curriculum. I mean, our curriculum has been the same from over 100 years as I know of. It's still been the same. They're still teaching the fundamental things, math, science, but they're just like anything else, any other invention or anything has continued to evolve. Our education hasn't evolved. And so I think that's a component that if we're going to go to school, we may need to teach the right curriculums to prepare our kids to go out in the world along with the parents. So the responsibility is school, part of it is school, and also
It's starting to get loud. They starting to turn up over here. We got 15 more minutes, and let me get this Damon back on real fast, because like I said, we're doing my twins' birthday party, and it's getting loud over here. Yeah, Damon. Speaking of teachers, do you remember Miss Barron, Stephanie Barron's at Lincoln High School? You don't
Who?
remember. Stephanie Barron, Miss Barron from Lincoln High School. You don't remember? She taught biology. I think it was biology. You probably didn't go to class anyway, but she's on here.
No.
She's on here. Hey.
No. I went to class, believe me.
Hey, Samantha, I know your mama.
When red
and your
Allen
mama.
is your father, you go into class.
Oh, you going to class? That's right. And then Samantha Brooks, she says it's your Canadian service that keeps cutting you off. That's what it is. You probably still got that Canada phone, huh?
Well, it is international, but so.
All right, then
But
I
think we're doing a good job. I'm coming back and forth.
You coming right back. That's cool.
I'm
That's
slipping
cool.
back in. So people just bear with us. I think the information that's being sent out is really good, and you guys are having a good topic and conversation. Especially going over what was last week, and so.
Right.
Okay.
Charles
So
Gooden said, "What's up, Damon?" Charles Gooden. I gotta say hello to a lot of people. Natasha.
Yeah.
She Mr. Davis was her dad. He was a counselor. Mr. Davis's daughter's on here. She's always on here. So she says, hey. So go ahead,
Okay.
Linda. What were you saying?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to read some of the comments and other questions. I see one from Toy.
Girl, I thought you could. I thought you wasn't on. I thought you was on your phone. That's why I was reading them.
That's good. You're doing good.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Do your job.
Why do men and men lie when it comes to relationships, and what they expect from it?
Why do they lie when it comes to relationships?
And what do they expect from, I guess, a relationship?
Come on, men and women lie.
I know.
Why do men lie? Because I would assume a man would lie due to the fact because he might be a lot busier than he say he is.
Well, I think both lie
there might be more people involved.
Yeah, I think people lie because lying serves them in that moment.
Yeah.
That's men or women. When it comes to relationship, they may lie about it.
And you're lying. You're lying to get what you want.
Yeah,
that's why people lie, to get what you want. So I mean, both men and women lie. So that's not a good question. I think women lie. Women lie more than men.
I mean, they can easily turn that question around. Why do women lie?
Exactly. And the biggest lie is, what's the biggest lie a woman could tell? You the baby daddy. You the baby daddy, and they know it's somebody else's. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, but let's keep on going. That's another show. That's a whole other show.
Well, hey, most people would use because they don't want to lose that person they want.
Exactly. They
don't want to hurt them and things like that. And so, I mean, that is normally the response that most people do use.
Yeah. Motivation.
Daryl Doc Carter's on here. He said, "What's up?" Michelle Wade Riley is on here. She says, "Hey."
Everybody, hello.
In fact, what's Doc Carter says, women and men base that on their past relationship. I'm not sure what he's speaking of.
Yeah, I don't know which question that was. That's why I didn't read that. I didn't know what he was saying there too.
Okay, a question from Michelle. What is the most valuable thing that you have learned about yourself in the last 10 years?
What I have learned
about yourself in the last 10 years.
He clicked off right during that question. He clicked off.
Okay. Anything for you, Stephen?
Well, the most valuable thing I've learned is family. Family is more important than anything. Anything, because at the end of the day, that's all you're gonna have is family. You can do all these other things with your friends, but when you start getting older, you're only gonna have your family. You're gonna have your kid, your spouse, and that's why I always go back and I'm saying right now, kicking myself. Dang, I should have had way more kids. I should have, because, like I said, when you get older, all you have is your family. Everybody else is going to disappear, but your family's always going to be there. So I would have had more kids if I was, to that question.
Okay. So Damon, the question was, what was the most valuable thing you've learned about yourself over the past 10 years?
I think one of the things I've learned is when I dove into myself in the deeper parts of who I am and the desire to wanted to change certain aspects, because prior the last 10 years I was married, been separated, and so it took me 5 years to really look within myself and try to fix the things that I don't like about myself and how I can be a better man, husband, brother, all these different things. And so it's when I started to clean my mindset and started to work on the things that I didn't like about my own self. Because that's one of the most difficult things to do. I mean, it's easy to point fingers and look out to someone else, but it's always when you have one finger pointing at someone, there's three pointing back at you. And so the most difficult thing for a person is to dig deep into themselves and figure out what they don't like about themselves and changing it. And I think that was the one thing that I had to do, and I say that to really be whole as a person, spiritually, mentally, physically, all those things that when I started to really eat better, exercise, read the word, not necessarily follow religion, but let me hear what God say, because
He's gone again. He'll be clicking back on.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him
Okay,
finish.
but I like everything he's saying, and if I were to answer that question, it would be that same sentiments. Go on, Damon. You can finish.
Yeah, so when I started to look deeper into myself, I mean, I think it has been the biggest change over the last 10 years of who I am as a person, because I know I'm not the same person I was, during the time and how I was operating 10 years prior to this. And so for me, I had to heal and almost present yourself much as a whole person, totally in mindset, thinking, everything. And I think that was the one thing I've learned the most is when I dug deeper into who I am and the person I want to be, and how do I start to make those changes.
That's cool.
Good.
That is sweet. Hey, we have 8 minutes left, and I need you guys
Okay.
to give me some juicy. I need some juicy questions out there about
Mhm.
love and relationships. Come on,
And
ask
just
Damon the hard questions. Get them in right
and,
now,
Hard questions.
and to
man.
add to what Damon said while we're waiting on questions, I totally agree with you. I'm known for saying we need to push the pause button in between relationships, because the greatest thing you can do for yourself is to heal and to become a whole person. And I think, many people forget that aspect, and it's easily, becomes easy. Back to that last question about, all men being bad or all women,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
this is based on your personal experience. We will always blame something outside of ourselves until we come to recognition
Mm-hmm.
with who we are. And I'm not sure what's going on there, but until we come to recognition with who we are, we become whole. We learn how to love. And love first begins with self. You cannot expect someone to love you more than you're willing to love yourself. And whole people, they learn how to love themselves in a healthy way. They love other people in a healthy way. They learn to focus on what I can change. How do I become a better me? Because a better me in any relationship makes a relationship better. And a relationship will only be as good as the two people that are in the relationship. So that means we all should take time out to focus on ourselves, who we are, where we're going, and who we want to be. I mean, who are you? Your
Exactly.
character, that you want to exude to other people. How do you express love? That is always on you
Yeah.
to do the
Absolutely,
work.
I
Definitely.
agree with that, and so the last 10 years, that's what I would say.
He's going off. He's going off again. We're gonna let him answer this, and then we're gonna get one more question. Karen has a good one. Why do men cheat? I like that one. So I want to get him to answer that one. But we're gonna let him finish up on here. He is right here. Go ahead. Finish it up. Were you finished answering, Damon? Damon,
Yes.
were you finished?
Yeah, I was just saying I was agreeing with her, and that has been the biggest aspect in my life the last 10 years is really, you know,
Okay.
changing the person who I was 10 years prior to during the time of my relationship. And, you know, but I still believe I'm blessed and all those things, and has been fortunate to get through those things, and, you know, to also have someone that, you know, that has your back, and those things. And so I'm in a much better situation, a much
Right.
more person now than I was prior to.
Right. And I got two juicy questions for you. All right. Why do men cheat?
Why do men cheat?
Yes.
I mean, that's very difficult. I mean, you can say anything why men cheat. Because I used to question, like, well, Lord, I used to ask the Lord why He put so many women on the earth.
Beautiful women.
Or what some
Beautiful
people would
women.
say, you know, why do men cheat? Because they can.
Right. Right.
So, but like I
Right.
said, it really comes down to, you know, to me on more of spiritual, not according to the flesh. You know, when you live according to the flesh, you know, cheating and lust and all those things will be in your path. If you try to live
Right.
according to the spirit, which, you
Right.
know, the Christ and His Word is always speaking of, live according to the spirit. You know, you got to figure out which one you're going to feed the most. You're going to feed your spirit, or you're going to feed your flesh.
Yeah.
Most people probably live in the flesh.
Gerald Doc Carter says,
I like that, Damon.
yeah. He says, why do women cheat?
Same reason. I
Same
can answer
reason.
that one. You
Yeah.
know, and it goes back, you know, one thing I will say, you know, like growing for me has it's not a religious thing, but becomes more of a spiritual perspective of life and who I am, and recognizing that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And I'm sure some of you may have heard that quote before. And that is because if you do not, you know, there are fleshly desires. You know, there's a scripture that says that the eyes is never satisfied. We always want more. You have, you know, enough. When is enough enough? And the thing that keeps us bridled is learning compassion. It's learning that, you know, there is a way that we should live spiritually, that we can embrace the people in our lives and ourselves. You know, like a spiritually grounded person recognizes they can't have everything in everybody. In fact, they don't want everything in anybody. They can appreciate the beauty in the earth, whether it's nature or another human being, but they have enough spiritual strength and capacity to understand love, commitment, and how they want to present themselves before their maker. You know, who am I as a spiritual being, and what kind of life do I want? And that is not driven on anyone else. That's always up to the human being. I will say this on my vision board, when it comes to how I will accomplish what I need to in life, I talk about character. And my word on my vision board is Galatians 5:23, that talks about the fruit of the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
which is love, peace, joy, happiness, you know, long suffering, kindness. All, you know, so you have to decide who is it you want to be.
Right.
You know, seeing someone beautiful or someone who looks good doesn't mean that you need to go after them to satisfy the desires of the flesh, because we know at some point, you know, it's just destruction. You can't have everything. It's like food. You can't glutton yourself through life without getting ill.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, hey, before we
the
go,
reason
go
why
ahead.
I go in these directions and I don't really talk, you know, I try not to speak on the things that, you know, you've done in the past and those things, is because, you know, even the scriptures talks about, you know, if you're going to speak on the oracles of the Most High. And so it's these things, you know, when I try to live according to the Spirit, those are the things I have to speak on and talk to, and even, you know, read on a consistent and everyday basis, to change my whole mindset and not want to live in the flesh, because I mean it's not easy, um, I think it's easier to live according to the flesh than it is to live according to the spirit.
Yes,
So
yes. It's a
to
job,
say
man.
that
Yeah.
to say that I can't indulge in that, I mean, yeah, I mean,
It's a
if I don't
full-time
stay on
job.
top of the word and stay in prayer and all those things, I can easily be in the flesh.
Exactly. Again.
And you have
But
to, I think you have to remind yourself to do the right thing. You know, I mean, temptation comes to everyone, but you remind yourself, you know, of who you are and who you want to be.
yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Mark Davis is on the call right now. You remember Mark Davis, man?
Yeah.
Remember we played. He were okay. He
What's
played
up, Mark?
professional baseball. You know, a few games. So he was on here. Mark, I got to get you back on here because I was in Las Vegas when he was on here, and it was awful. My signal was bad because I was going from my phone, and it was real bad. So I got to get Mark back on here. Let's answer one more question,
No
and
problem.
Okay,
we're gonna
so
move on. It
okay,
was
so
Karen.
one,
Karen had a question. Go ahead.
yeah, and it's almost like it was two part because the first question she wrote um something about what does it, how can a man help a woman to heal? And then I see another question that Karen just posted. It says, not really a question, but
You got a question?
we need to heal together. Men's voice is important in the healing process, I guess. But what can men do to help women heal was one question I saw.
I say be honest and faithful to him. I mean that, and you know, talk to him. You know, build trust because if you have trust, that's all women. That's all women and men want. We want to make sure somebody has our back. You know what I'm saying? Because you can work. People work more comfortable when we know somebody has that support. If somebody's there to support me, I go to the moon. But if you don't have that support, it's hard to do things. You know, in your mind, it's
Mhm.
like people holding you down. So it's pretty much support.
Well, I think for healing to transpire with anyone,
I didn't
I
hear a
think that,
question, so
okay, what does it take for women to heal, or how can a man help a woman to heal?
She said, Samantha Brooks said, communicate and be loyal.
Yeah. Well, I think
yeah,
healing is
that's right. I
healing is
mean,
an healing is an internal job, and I think the first thing that,
those are important. Like,
yeah.
communicate, loyal, trust.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's greater than love because love is a feeling, and people sometimes they wake up in the morning. One minute they love you, and the next day they wake up and they're not feeling you. And so, um, being loved and those things is cool, but when there's loyalty, trust, and support and those things, that is a form of love.
Hmm.
Love is an action.
Yeah. Do you think that transparency is one of the big keys to all of that? Because what I have found is that a lack of transparency means that we do not communicate. It's something about being afraid to become naked and expose your vulnerability to your partners. And it becomes easier for some people to shut down or to blame something outside of themselves. But whatever happened to the transparency that says, you know what, I'm broken and I need such and such, or, from you. Because I don't think it, like we're there. If a person is on a healing journey, then you communicate that to your family or the people in your love, because family support is very, very important, especially from your spouse. But if that's not being communicated, it makes it a little different for a man to support his wife's healing, or woman to support her husband's healing, how, or a friend, boyfriend, whatever you call them. But transparency is the key in being able to communicate your needs to your partner is significant in them loving you and supporting you in ways that's going to help you manifest your healing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah, and that's why when I said communication, I mean that was probably the grandfather communication,
Yes.
because what comes from all that is transparency and all those things, is very important in the communication. For me growing up in the Allen household, we were always taught to listen, not speak, and those things. And so I believe that, I had a issue with communication because of those things that, and it's just the way I was taught. I mean, so it wasn't like we're, you had a chance to express what we feel and all those things. It was like, hey, listen to what I'm saying, boom, do this, and then do. And so I think it affected, many people in our household as far as the communication aspect. And then it affected us in our relationships too, because we were lacking those areas.
Right.
So I had to learn that over the years, and much better than I was prior to. But it's something that I'm learning to communicate and being transparent and all those things, because at the end of the day, those are the things that you have to stand for and live by, is your word. I mean, your word is very important.
Right. Hey, but just as I don't mean to cut y'all off, but we are 6 minutes over.
Yes,
6 minutes over, and then Mark Davis is on here talking crap about they wore us out at the Hive. So we're gonna talk about that later. So Damon, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Do you have any books out or anything, and where can we find you? I mean, if people want to,
No, but me and my little brother Darius, we are working on a book. I just reached out to him recently to get back to rescheduling and putting in that necessary work. And so, I chose my younger brother Darius to write the book, and we're excited about starting once again on Monday.
Am I gonna be in that book?
Probably. I don't know.
Because I should have been in the Allen family. And also,
we can, you support donations and all that stuff.
Wow. How about tickets? Hey, can I get some Raider tickets or something when you become a Raider coach? What's up? Okay, we're gonna hook that up. So thank you, Damon, for coming out. And go ahead, Linda, introduce yourself again, and we're out of here.
Hey, sorry about my with my data, my Canadian data that's in and out. But at the end of the day,
he gone again. Go ahead, Linda.
Okay, well, as you know, I'm Linda Streeter, and Love and Relationship Matters is me. I am an author, life coach, relationship coach, and behavior coach, and marriage and family therapist, and that is it.
And I am Stephen Pierce, the Doctor of Love. So you can catch us every Friday night at 7 to 8 p.m. And you can get all your love and relationship questions answered. And Damon is here once again. Damon Allen. I'm going to just tell y'all last time, greatest quarterback of all time. I don't want to hear about no Peyton Manning. I don't want to hear about what's that other dude, New England Patriots, whatever his name.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Dude, y'all sleeping.
Y'all
good.
I slept.
Love them. They all good. I ain't gonna say they ain't good, but hey, they didn't have your skills. None of them can run like you.
They don't want to.
They can pass. yeah, you know what I'm saying. They can't run like you. They pass.
They
you guys
don't
about the same. No, they don't. So we want to again thank y'all for coming out. Damon, thank you for coming on, man. And we're gonna have you again, and we're gonna be more prepared, and we're gonna get a better signal out. We're gonna have to get you up that Canada signal. All right.
Absolutely. All right. You have me anytime. Let me know. Thank you.
All right.
All righty. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Don't forget to end the show, Stephen.